listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, guys, coming to you from ESPN 97.5, 92.5. And guys, I'm feeling good, if I say so myself. I was a little down under the weather a couple of days ago, but now I've kicked out and I'm feeling real good. But more importantly, before we even get the show kicked off, Brad, I just want to say thank you to everybody who welcomed me at the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame over the weekend. I had an awesome time. I had an awesome time to get a chance to really kick it with some good people and award someone, who shouldn't have even had to be awarded. First and foremost, a person by the name of Anthony DePippo. I always tell my story. I went to prison. I ended up getting out. I got a chance to live out my dream. Anthony DePippo was just like me. He was a guy who loved wrestling, wanted to be a professional wrestler, and he got wrongfully convicted of a crime of rape and murder. He spent 20 years in prison, and he didn't get a chance to live out his dream until, this weekend. He got a chance to step inside the ring finally, man, and do his thing. But this dude's a hero. What Anthony DePippo is doing right now for the Innocence Project, trying to help, bring innocent people home who in that same situation, just like he was once upon a time, it's commendable. I just want to say that. I got a chance to meet about four exonerees. And
Wow.
one guy, he's older now. He's actually a lawyer now. He spent 16 years in prison, and he went in when he was 16 years old. So these stories are like so powerful and so strong. I think these stories need to be told, and hopefully I get a chance to work with Anthony DePippo and get a chance to really let the world know exactly what's going on out there, man. I mean, my thing is, I was guilty. I was guilty. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being locked up for 20 and you was innocent?
Oh man.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So big ups to everybody at the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Those guys are really doing something special out there, man. I'm serious, man. Really doing something special. Big ups to you guys.
Yeah, I would love to meet Anthony and talk about his story with him. I mean, you mentioned the guy who went to prison innocently and now he's an attorney. That's something that you actually hear a lot of. Like I've heard of a lot of people, they go to prison and I guess they can read and become familiar with the law, right? And they're able to become attorneys and make something of themselves. And
Yeah.
and so but like you said, to be in those prison walls over something that you didn't do. I know that we don't have a perfect system, and you're never going to be able to have 100% accuracy rating, but just so frightening that there's a whole Innocence Project, a whole team dedicated to finding these people who are wrongfully accused, or even go to someone like Kim Kardashian, what she's been doing of getting people out of prison who have just these unreal harsh terms for nonviolent crimes, mainly like marijuana related drug crimes, and they're sentenced to life in prison or 50 years in prison.
Yeah.
We got to talk about real systematic change, and the Innocence Project helps with that. And just these stories, I can only imagine a lifetime of stories.
Yeah. Peter Neufeld and Barry Sheck, those guys, I think, founded the Innocence Project back in 95, 96 or something like that. And I just think it's commendable for someone to be out there working for free. They're doing it for free, man, going out there, spending their time. And I think, it's like I say, it's such a huge thing, because I've seen those guys like working on their cases, going down to the law library every day. I mean, you have that opportunity to be able to do that, even when you're locked up. Go to the law library and work on your case.
Oh, so that's a thing. There's
Oh,
a
yeah,
law
yeah.
library. Oh, I didn't know that.
very educated guys locked up behind bars, can tell you everything about every law and everyone that's been written. It's amazing, man.
I've
I
heard of that. I mean, I didn't know that there was a law library, but I knew
it's a law
people.
library. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Well, hey, man, you learn something new every day. I want to get. By the way, also shout out to everybody watching us right now. I see super chats flying in already. I saw the King of Solar Screens popped in. What's up, Randy? Shout out.
And I got to get with Randy, man. I got to get with Randy. Definitely. Big shout outs to Randy the Rebel. That's what I call him.
Randy the Rebel, brother. And shout out to Randy. And make sure you shout out where you are, by the way, in watching us from. Or are you overseas? Are you in London town? Are you in the Bahamas? Your favorite vacay space, Turks and Caicos. Where are you watching us right now? We would love to know.
Yeah. You know, it reminded me of something right there at the International Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. You know, at the dinner, Bill Apter was the host, right? And he said, "I know it's a lot. You got a lot of people in here. Got a lot of people in here. Anybody here from overseas? Anybody from overseas?" And somebody in the back goes, "I'm from Ireland." And he goes, "Well, what part of Ireland?" "Coney." Right there in New York City, baby. So I was like, that was really good.
That was pretty good.
Bill Apter definitely was the life of the party. Big ups to Bill Apter. My man, J.J. Dillon, who I worked with back in WCW, got a chance to hang out with him. I'm going to tell you, J.J. Dillon made me a whole lot of money, man, a whole lot of money back in the day. And I think all of it was under the table.
Allegedly and hypothetically, if the IRS might be watching the stream.
Under the WCW table.
I don't think that makes it better. Allegedly speaking, J.J. Dillon was a very kind individual.
Back in the 90s, man. Back in the 90s. Heck yeah, man. We got
I mean, because I heard they hired all those IRS agents books. So we got to, kayfabe, brother.
Hey, bro. I feel you. I feel you.
But you know what? But old Uncle Joey B just eliminated like $20,000 of my student debt. So, like, if the IRS does come after me, which I'm not wanting them to, I love you, great people. I'm a tax-paying citizzen, but I do appreciate
all of you people. I'm gonna tell you, everybody that's getting this free money, they're gonna be coming to look at everything else. You know what I mean? We got to check on you. We got to make sure you guys ain't just getting this money for free. You know what I mean? And running out and blowing it and spending it. You know what I mean? People like yourself. So I agree with you.
See, they're not giving us the money.
Well,
they're just taking it away from our debt.
Well, that's the same thing. That's the same thing.
Well, I don't get 20 G's. I can go around.
It feels just as good. It feels just as good.
It actually does feel great. It feels great. To be honest with you.
So I'm just saying, man. So yeah, they should look into you.
No, don't do that. Hey, what they should look into is the latest episode of Reality of Wrestling. I want to plug it real quick because we saw the debut of a brand new faction called The Heat. The Heat made their debut. The good fella Matt Vine, Gaspar Hernandez,
Matty Ice. It's not Matt Vines anymore. It's Matty Hot Ice.
Matty Hot Ice and Gaspar Hernandez in conjunction with their new management. And I heard that you got the Texas Athletic Commission to grant you a managerial license.
Yeah.
I don't know how you pulled that one off.
Signed by the governor. That's how I did it. I had a conversation with the governor, and he was quick to move, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh my goodness.
What? What?
I don't know. And here's just a little Easter egg. I know we have to take a break. Here's a little Easter egg for everybody. Go watch the last episode of The Reality of Wrestling when Booker T is talking about his conversation with the governor. Look in the upper right-hand portion of your screen where the commentary table is on the stage, and you'll be aghast by the reactions that had to be muted by some of the conversation.
Hey, man. we got to take a break. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
paid monetary spokesperson for Walker, Texas lawyer.
I'm six-time world champion Booker T, and I face tough competition all over the world. But when it comes to insurance companies, I tag in Walker, the Texas lawyer.
Hey, if you've been in an accident and you want me to fight for you, call me.
Now can you dig that?
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We just get ready to roll down and see exactly what's going down in the world of sports and entertainment, as well as all combat sports. Speaking of combat sports, man, I want to give a big shout out to Serena Williams, man. Serena Williams, man, she's talking about retiring, but you know what? It ain't over. It ain't over. The party's not over. Serena Williams went out there and spanked that girl. So I'm like this here, man. Let's take it all the way, man. The U.S. Open. Let's take it all the way. Let's finish this thing strong. I'm talking about real strong. And the thing is, man, I'm getting me a ticket to New York. I'm getting me a ticket to Flushing, New York. I want to make sure I'm there for the final. I'm there for that final match.
No.
Somehow, some way, I'm going to get me a ticket. And I'm going to be in there with Mike Tyson. I'm going to be in there with all the big players. And I'm going to be having a lot of fun. Let's just say that.
You got to be there with Mike, Serena, the whole world. Hey, man, I didn't get to watch it.
Bro, it was a party, man. And I'm going to tell you,
I saw the clips on social.
Party in Flushing at the U.S. Open for Serena. I tell you, man, what a career. What a career. Yeah. Give it up for Serena Williams. And I'm so sick. I'm so sick of, people, when people talk about the men versus the women and try to put, one on the spot. Serena Williams, let's just say she's the best female tennis player in the history of the game. But to compare her to the men, it's just unfair. It's just unfair in every sense of the word. She's great. She's super great. But I think there's a lot of great male tennis players too, like a Roger Federer, like a Rafa Nadal, like a Novak Djokovic. And those guys, you can't say those guys, would not take offense to people saying Serena Williams is the greatest tennis player of all time. I can't say that. I could say Serena Williams is the greatest female tennis player that ever picked that racket up, ever. You know what I mean? And I think Serena Williams, I think she even said it, to compare her, with the men, she would go out there and get beat by, Andy Murray, 5 sets, straight love. You know what I mean? So I think what she's done for the game and to the game is awesome. But I just think we as Americans, man, we need to just get up off of I don't know what we going in the world right now, where things are just totally, a competition with everything. You know what I mean? I don't know how you feel about that. Talk to me. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, about what in general? I mean, just the comparison between.
As far as, like, it's been a thing with John McEnroe, because John McEnroe said Serena Williams, if she played in the, on the men's circuit, she'll probably be ranked 700. Now, he was exaggerating. He said probably be around 200, and that's probably true. And Serena said, if she played against men, she would probably get beat. She wouldn't be great. It's just like I remember when Michelle Wie tried to get on the PGA circuit, the male PGA circuit.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I don't know if you remember that or not. I don't know how clearly you remember it or not. But her going on the men's circuit almost ruined her. It totally just messed her psyche up because she really thought that she was capable of going out there and hitting the ball, not as far as those guys, because she could hit the ball pretty far, but shaping it, being able to go out there and manipulate it, being able to go out there and find your way to a par when it was definitely a double bogey, those kind of situations. And then came back to the women's game and realized, she couldn't beat the women after playing with the men. It totally just ruined her psyche. So I just think I just don't think it's fair to even talk in those terms.
Yeah, I mean, well, I would just echo what Serena said. I mean, if Serena said it herself, I don't know where the debate would be. I'm gonna go I don't know what it's like to be a pro tennis player. I don't know what it's like to play against a top-ranked man or a woman. So I'm gonna listen to what you are calling, and many people should call and acknowledge as the greatest female player of all time, Serena Williams. If she says that she would have difficulty with the men, I'm gonna listen to her. And
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. But it seems
why would I debate that?
But some people still want to make the assertion that she is the greatest player that ever played the game. And when I look at someone like Roger Federer, who's done what he's done over his tenure, it's just been unbelievable. It's just like I say, I wouldn't even try to compare the two.
Well, I mean, look, there are certain biological differences between men and women. We can go through that, but I don't want to get into a science discussion. But to call somebody the greatest of all time, and it is a sport where there are men that play and women that play until they play each other, right? Like you can't really make that determination, right? I mean, it's just not. Yeah, it's the same way when people are like, "Who's better? Was it Hank Aaron, Barry Bonds, or Babe Ruth?" It's like, well, they never played against each other. They didn't have a home run derby. We can go by the stats, we can go by the numbers, the trophies, the individual accomplishments, but until you actually see them lined up, it's hard to say that. But as far as if you want to make a determination about the greatest woman or female player of all time, when you look at her accomplishments, when you look at her ability, when you look at the Wimbledons and the Grand Slams, and you just go through it all, there's not going to be somebody in our lifetime. And I know that there are some great players like Naomi Osaka, to name one, some great female tennis players, but come on, man, that's Serena. Like all you gotta do is say her first name. You know what I mean?
I mean, she's the GOAT. She's the GOAT.
Yeah.
Okay. She really is. I mean, as far as women's tennis go, I mean, Billie Jean King was bad in her day, man. And for
Billie
Serena name. No, I'm serious. And for Serena name to be, bang, straight from Compton, right there from the hood, to just blow it up like that, man. Oh my God. That's what she said last night. She said, "I'm from Compton." That right there, man, should motivate so many young girls, man, that see her, that's in that neighborhood, to just like, wow, man, if she did it, wow, I can do it too. What a story, man. What a story.
Yeah.
I was just watching.
Well,
I was just watching Venus in the first round. She went out in the first round, so we won't be seeing Venus, no more in the tournament. She won't be winning.
That's gotta suck.
Yeah, it's gotta suck. Yeah, it has to. Definitely has to.
I mean, to be. I mean, as close as they are coming up in the same sport, and one of the siblings rises way higher, like way higher.
I mean, Venus in her own right, man. She definitely, if it wasn't for Venus, I don't think it could have been a Serena, because Venus was the first one to actually go out there and do it. Venus was the first one to go out there and just start just blowing it away. And then Serena came along, so you got to give Venus a whole lot. And the thing is, just imagine, I mean, just you don't even have to imagine, just realize how many more tournaments Venus would have won if it wasn't for Serena, because she got beat by Serena in a lot of those tournaments.
Right. That's true.
Think about it.
It's true.
Think about it. Hey, man, we got some boxing going down, man, and we definitely want to touch on it, man. We definitely got to get into it, because it's going to be a big Labor Day weekend. Andy, the Destroyer Ruiz Jr. headlines an epic nights of fight. The former champ squares off against Luis King Kong Ortiz in a highly anticipated all-out heavyweight brawl. Plus, Isak Pitbull Cruz makes its return back to the ring against Eduardo Ramirez, as well as superstar Abner Mares versus Miguel Flores. Guys, it's going down this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, live from the Crypto.com arena in LA, baby. Live only on pay-per-view. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out, because it's going to be on. Guys, stick around. We'll be back in a minute. You worth it.
15 years, the King of Solar Screens has been an industry leader, and we proudly use 100% American-made products. Home of the $55 any size, any color solar screen.
Well, what about arches?
$55.
What about circles?
$55.
What about rectangles?
$55.
Any size, any color, installed free. The King of Solar Screens, on time, every time.
Now, can you dig that, sucker? Can you dig it, sucker?
Okay, here we are back on the Hall of Fame. There he is joining me right now with
Yeah.
a second to spare. It's time Hall of Famer Booker T. Look, Book, we've been talking about combat sports. We've been talking about tennis. We've been talking about the Innocence Project. All great conversations.
Yeah, man.
People are here.
You know what the people want to talk about?
Look,
because this show right here is all about the people. Give them what they want, man.
I mean, where do you want to start in the world of wrestling? Do you want to start on the AEW side? Do you want to start on the WWE side? I mean, where do you want to go? Where do we want to go first? Because I mean, there's controversy and accomplishments on both sides, so I don't know where we want to land.
Well, sad news about the Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark.
Yeah,
of course. That's a kid who I got a chance to work with. Tough enough. He's a guy that I always said, man, he had a lot of talent. But it's another thing I always say too. You put yourself in a position, something might happen. It's just the way the world works out, man. And I just hate to see this. You know what? I know the charges; those are alleged charges. I don't know what that's really about. Drug paraphernalia. That could be, some marijuana papers. Okay.
Right. It could be anything.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. But innocent to proven guilty. Yeah, I get that too. But the perception, in front of the public is something totally different. Public opinion is definitely real. And it's just sad to see young men put themselves in position like for something to happen to them in this business. So hopefully the young brother get back on track. I really don't have a whole lot of information as far as what really went down, but I know he was campaigning to get back into the company. And there again, man, talent, man. That character, money. But there again, will we ever see it again? I don't know, man. I don't know.
Velveteen Dream, the character.
Yeah.
I don't know Patrick Clark, the person, but I know Velveteen Dream, the character. I thought it was a money act.
Oh man.
I thought it was a money act. And you know what? At first I was trepidatious, but when I saw them at NXT War Games in Houston, he and the then Aleister Black had a match against each other. And the whole thing was Aleister wouldn't say Velveteen Dream's name, right? And that was their whole angle. And that match was so spectacular. I mean, it elevated both guys immediately. And then afterward, Aleister won, if memory serves me correct. But then he goes, "I acknowledge you, Velveteen Dream." And, Velveteen Dream sold it with his face. And it was such a great moment. And I said in that moment, I was like, that guy's money, man. Both of them. But Velveteen Dream had it.
I thought, it was great character, but I was just thinking about the maturity of that character and the growth of it over the years, what it could have really turned into. Because I was, he had that ravishing Rick Rude, feel, with the airbrush trunks, you know what I mean? And he just had that Prince Purple Rain feel as well.
Yeah.
He just had so many different
little gold dust kind of influence.
A little Muhammad Ali. He had a little bit of everything, man. And it was it was such a unique character. Anybody anybody couldn't have did that.
Right.
Wouldn't have worked out. And for him to be able to draw upon whatever to find it was very, very unique as well, man. But there again, man, just wanted to throw that out there. Hopefully the brother find himself.
Yeah, I saw the arrests. Again, drug paraphernalia could be anything. It's all alleged at this point, so we don't really want to comment on what it was. But I always hate to see that because it always seems like as soon as you think, okay, maybe I have an in here, maybe I can get back to what I love, something like this happens. I don't want to see it, hate to see it, but it happens. It happens, man. All the time. He was a talent. And when scandal, though, when scandal starts to surround your name, it's hard to ignore it, right? I mean, look at remember what was his name? What was the guy's name with Big Kaz? Enzo. Enzo. Remember Enzo?
Man.
Enzo looked like he was a talent. Like I remember on this show calling Enzo and Kaz the next New Age Outlaws. I thought they had that dynamic about them, right? Maybe Enzo not exactly a road dog 1-to-1, but he had the mouth.
Brother could talk.
But he could talk, right? And when that whole situation happened with the both of them, I mean, the both of them ended up, on the sidelines. And it's always sad to see when you see talent. And I know it's not all about the show, but that's what I look at. I look at the show. I don't like to look at all the extracurriculars, But when you look at the show, you saw 3 guys in this case who could have been major players for that company. I thought Kaz would have been a world champion by now.
Hey, man, just think about it, man. Never say never. The way things are right now, way things are, shaping up, and shifting. You never know. We might see Morrissey back in the WWE. We might see big, Enzo. You never know.
They're talking about Braun and Bray coming back.
Exactly my point. So anything can happen, man. Right now, I think we're in a different time right now, and I like it. Right now it's just a lot of action going on. I like action. It's like being in Vegas. It's like being at the table, man, when the dice is hot. And I don't even play dice. I'm just talking about the guys that do gamble, and when it does get hot. But
I learned very quickly in a hallway in high school, do not play craps. I learned very quickly. You know what I mean? I had $10 to my name, and I lost it.
You lost $5.
I lost 10. And you know what they did in my high school is obviously it's illegal to gamble in the state, more or less in the high school. The guys who played dice, they would buy these little tiny ones, right? Like this big. You could barely see them. And if an administrator or the principal or a teacher comes by, they would take these dice, throw them in their mouth, and swallow them. Swallow the evidence.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do. That's a hustler. That's what that's
called.
Toast
to the real players out there, man. That's a player move.
No, Brad, but that's called a hustler. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I found out rather quickly.
Hey, man, where we at, man? We got to think. What we doing here?
We have plenty of super chats, but what I think we should talk about is last night, Monday Night Raw. There's since the exit of Sasha Banks and Naomi, we have not had women's tag team champions.
Yeah, we do.
And on the same day that we hear that Sasha Banks and Naomi's names are back on the internal roster, we crowned new tag team champions, but not who we thought, the collective we thought they were going to be. Everyone said, oh, Dakota Kai, Io Sky. This makes so much sense. They got Bailey. They're getting pushed. They just came back. They're in the finals. Everyone thought that was going to be the champions there, but no.
Not me. I think I called this one.
Well, you've been big on Raquel Rodriguez.
I was on the Raw Talk. I was talking about this pairing right here is the new pairing of Shawn Michaels and Diesel.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge comparison, but yeah, I see it.
That's what this is. You know what I mean? I was like, man, that would be awesome to get the rocket and take off, because Aaliyah, this is the Liyaah. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you, she got something, man. And I think together, they definitely make each other shine a little bit.
I like them as a package, man. I mean, I've been seeing just a lot of internet hate on this. No surprise, right? No surprise that the internet doesn't like something. But I think this was the first time in the Triple H era that I've seen some sort of negative feedback over the finish of this match. A lot of people shocked by it, you not being one of them. Do you feel, though, that was the right call? You didn't think Io and Dakota Kai would have been the way to go, especially if the rumors are true that Naomi and Sasha are on their way back?
I don't think the picture is thinking about Naomi and Sasha when they coming back. Maybe not even as a tag team, period. Just think about it. Those two wasn't actually really a tag team. They were just actually tag team champions. Am I correct here or not?
Yeah, they were put together prior to WrestleMania.
Am I correct here? Am I correct?
Yes.
I am correct. Yeah. So I was just saying, I think, the tag team titles were up in the air. It was a tournament, and these two got the nod. For what reason? I don't think it's, to think about going back in the past. I think it's about going, picking something up fresh and moving forward. You know, I said that as a promoter, you can't be thinking like, well, but what if when they come back, we get them back in the mix. I think if we do get them back in the mix, it's got to be organic. It can't just be forced. And well, they're back. Let's put the titles back on them and everything's back to normal. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But for me, I'm thinking a little bit, real. Okay. And the way they walked out, I want to try to keep it real. When they come back, I might even, throw some obstacles in their way just because I don't want to give too much of my story away or anything like that, because I don't like talking about angles and whatnot. But I think we could use this. And at the end of the day, if it's done right, everybody can win. Sasha, Naomi, Aaliyah, Raquel, everybody.
I don't disagree with you. And you know what? Also, Booker doesn't want to book the show because if it's a great idea, and he says it on here, a check isn't attached to that, right? I see what you're doing. You're like, I don't want to give away the game. You gotta pay me for this, man.
Bro, come on. The game is sold, not told.
I feel you.
Okay. Come on, man. So no, I think we can use this. I'm serious. And for me, like I say, I'm thinking as a promoter, and I'm thinking about, tag team picture, but as a promoter also, am I thinking about Naomi and Sasha as far as making sure they get over if they do come back? Hell yeah. I'm not thinking about, well, they're back and, let's, keep a closed mindset. It's about putting your boots on and let's get out here and let's go to work. And that's what that's work. Yeah, I'm all about the music today, man. I'm all about the music. That's why, would it be cool if Aaliyah had that Aaliyah theme track?
I mean, I could see why you'd want to go that way. I think that people would have problems with it.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, I'm just the beat, maybe. You know what I mean? Or just some of the rhythm in it.
An allusion to the song.
Can you feel me? I
like it.
People have a problem with it, but it's just it's a tribute. It's homage more than anything. I would think, and it would just sound sweet because the song is awesome. Hey guys, we gotta take a break, man. We gotta take another break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
See what Harlem Heat, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the fame. It was about the reckoning.
Edge, you have a big match tonight. Tell me, what's going on in your mind?
This is summer. Hey, kid. Did a good job out there, man. Maybe next time, though. Hey, what do you know about it next time? Boy, you crazy? Hey, back up. Hey, back up. I'm gonna smoke your mind. Come on. Come on. I got your number.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We just talking, man. We just talking about everything sports and entertainment. Definitely going to be talking about some boxing in a little while. Labor Day weekend, big fight going down. Ruiz versus Ortiz. Oh my God, heavyweight action, man. I'm talking about it's gonna be bringing the thunder, baby. Somebody gonna get knocked out. Somebody gonna get knocked out. And I don't even want to say who I'm with right now. But what we got, Brad? What we got?
We have Mizuru, who wants to know, Book, are we ever actually getting the Shoop shirt?
Sharmell, we working on the design, man. We're working on. We're trying to.
Y'all been working for a minute. I'll be honest with you. You've been working for a minute. The Shoop shirt is coming.
We're trying to find the right design, man. But I tell you what, pressure's on me. Pressure's on me now to make sure we get the Ship shirts out. So Sharmell, I know you're listening. Make sure the guy speed this thing up. All right, make sure he speed it up. We need the Ship shirts.
We need the Ship shirts. All right, like we can't delay it anymore. By the way, Chad Gable has gotten so over with me. I don't know if you watched the thing with him and Kurt Angle on Monday night.
I missed it, man. I missed it.
He is so entertaining.
Oh man, he's good.
He is so fun. Thank you. You know, when he hits that, it's so great. And then he and Kurt had a shoosh off last night.
Oh yeah.
It's so weird though how you can find something like shoop or shoosh or thank you. That can get over.
Yeah.
A lot of times you think it's got to be something like a "Can you dig it, sucker?" or "That's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so." Do you smell the rock is cooking? But just a word and the way you say it, good, perfect.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the skill behind that? Like, it's just that audience feedback and throwing something out there and seeing, hey, are they going to connect to this?
It's just about creating something. It's about creating something and then sticking with it, buying in and sticking with it. Gable, I said it, man. This dude has turned into an awesome entertainer. He's, anybody can go out and wrestle. Anybody can put the boots on and go out and have matches. And that's one thing that I'm noticing about WWE right now a whole lot more also is the matches. They've turned the heat up on the matches. That boy Kevin Owens, man, getting all kind of airtime. But I think that's what it's about, really just being able to go out there and find something click that you and the fans can actually, find, interesting, from a heel perspective or a babyface perspective. It works. It's just like Bobby Lashley going out right now, and it's something real subtle that he does now, and as he's trying to, get the fans to buy in. But when the song goes, you know what I mean? He do the hand gesture. So I was like, okay, that's what it's about. That's what wrestling has always been about. Fan participation, getting the fans to be a part of, what's going on, bringing those signs. Man, I missed that. And hopefully we can get back to it.
Yeah. You know what? You're all right. You see, like, guys like Gable, another guy who, and this isn't a new one, but Sami Zayn's just been putting in.
Man. Zayn is good.
So much work.
I've said Sami Zayn, man, what kind of talent that guy is. And, people just, look at him for what he goes out there and do, but I look at him for what he goes out there and do, from a different perspective, so the guy is really, such a role player, and this business would not be where it is if it wasn't for those role players, like a Sami Zayn, man. He is definitely, one of a kind, seriously.
Yeah. He even hit something with one of the Usos. I think they had like a secret handshake, right? And they hit it perfectly on camera. And I'm like, God, man, you could just tell right now the boys are having fun.
Seems that way. It seems that way. And that's one thing I can say. When I was doing it, man, we were having a lot of fun, man. Even though that's not the reason why we came to work, but we were having a lot of fun. I can't tell you how much fun Goldust and I was having. I can't tell you how much fun I was having with the Boogeyman. I'm serious. As well as with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I can't tell you how much fun I was having, during those times. It was a time to where everybody was just working towards, one common goal, and that was creating a hell of a show every week from top to bottom. And it worked, man. It worked very, very well. And hopefully, we can, turn the clock back a minute, and have that same feeling.
Oh, man, be awesome. We have a super chat coming in here from Bryant, And I don't know if you've ever talked about this or not, or confirmed or denied. Brian R wants to know, Book, were you originally Bad Bunny's partner at WrestleMania? Now, of course, people remember WrestleMania. I think it was 2 years ago. Bad Bunny teamed with Damian Priest against The Miz and John Morrison. This was right after he released his album. Booker T was the big song off it. Y'all did the video together, the Royal Rumble performance. You even had the backstage interaction with Bad Bunny, The Miz, and John Morrison. People thought this might be happening. Was this the plan?
Brian R., I'm going to give you a chance, I'm going to give you a chance to ask another question just because I'm different than a lot of guys that come on podcasts. I don't talk about inside stuff. I don't talk about stuff that could have happened, probably should have happened, might have happened, just so these guys could pick it up and go and run with it and turn it into a story that's a non-story. But you can ask another question, but I don't get into behind the scenes issues and like fights and who I got a beef with, like a lot of these guys are coming out with stories 20 years later, and that's just not me. So if you want to ask another question, I take it.
20 years later, guys are coming out on Twitter with statements about the beefs they have in the locker rooms nowadays. What are you talking about, Book? 20 years later. 20 seconds later.
Well, that too, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I've never been one of those guys if I got a beef with somebody to, go and talk about it and make it a story. That's just not me. That's just not something men do. I'm serious. Not real men anyway. You know what I mean? So when it comes to, insider stories and, backstage stuff like that, I just don't. Bad Bunny had a hell of a time at WrestleMania. It was Bad Bunny's moment. It wasn't my moment. And it's not my moment to make 2 years later. Right? Right or wrong?
Right. You know what, though? Speaking of Bad Bunny and his partner at the time, Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Damian Priest is another guy who's starting to get over with. And he was one who I had a question mark on. I was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm being force fed this guy.
No, you had a big question mark on him because I did too. I was wondering if this guy was going to pan out. And maybe he was just in the wrong role.
I think that's what it was.
I think that's all it was. Or he was just in the wrong role. He just, bad casting. Let's just say that. Let's just say that. But definitely, he's a guy who is maturing and falling into what this thing is really all about. So yeah, I'm digging Damian Priest right now as well. Even I'm liking everything that's going on with these guys.
Judgment Day's turned a corner. Rhea Ripley's awesome in that group.
Balor's taking that smile off his face that I was always talking about, and things have turned up a little bit. Yeah, I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it.
It's just nice though to when you, I don't know, I guess, and look, Vince had his way of doing things. I never worked for Vince McMahon. You obviously did for a very long time in your career. The majority of your career was with Vince. He had a way that he liked to do things. He had a formula that he stuck to. And that proved him to be fruitful and profitable for decades and decades and decades. But sometimes when you do have that change of guard and somebody else comes in, it gives you that just injection of energy that you need. It's like a B12 shot. Yeah. And everything about the show, it really feels completely. And I know that I feel like we're talking about this every time that the subject comes up, but it's so true. How within a month's time, people like, for me, Chad Gable and Damian Priest, who I was like, whatever, they are what they are. Now, when I watch them, I'm like, God, man, these guys are good. These guys are good. And I don't know what the switch was. Maybe they're just, like I said, they're just enjoying what they're doing.
Nah, man. It seems like the guys just, it's hard sometimes when you're walking on eggshells. And you're unsure, you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. It's really it could get really, really stressful. And trust me, I do understand when the guys were saying, man, I'm not having any fun here. You know what I mean? I'm not digging this because, like I said, I was in TNA. I was there for 2 years, and I was like, man, I'm not digging this, bro. And it wasn't because I wasn't making some dollars. It was because man, I'm not feeling it. And I wanted to get out. So I get it. I understand that too. But I do understand, when you just like say, for instance, when I was in WCW. Oh, brother. Oh, it was fun, man. It was so much fun. I can't tell you how much fun it was. And I was making a boatload of scratch at the same time. You know what I mean? And then, coming over to WWE, man, a whole lot of fun, man. A whole lot of fun. But at the same time, man, it's all about taking care of business, man. It's all about taking care of business. We got any more super chats, man?
We have a ton of super chats, but we're actually, according to my calculations, coming soon on a break. So we'll take one more. We'll take one more.
All right.
We'll take one more here. This one just popped up. Luis Me says, should Triple H bring general managers back to SmackDown and Raw?
Luis Me is me son she. What was the question again?
Should Triple H bring general managers back to Raw and SmackDown?
We have GMs. I'm not a real big fan of the GM. I'm not a big fan of it myself. I think the show can run very well without a general manager. I think chaos could be created very well just as much without a general manager. A general manager like Teddy Long, of course, was a guy who was playing a role, and that role served its purpose at its time. But I don't think we're going to have another Teddy Long. I don't think we're going to ever be in that time again. And for me, maybe it's time to move past it. But then again, who am I? You never know. We might have a general manager on the show next week. Stick around. You know what? And it might be me. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Get this thing kicked off right now with a bang. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pick it up. Oh, my brother. That's the fire.
Listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, coming to you from ESPN 97.5, 925, giving it to you like we always do, man. It's all about the people here inside the Hall of Fame. And I know we got a lot of super chatters. I know we got to get to them, Brad. But what are we waiting on?
Yo, look, we'll get to it right now. This comes from Callie Toenail. Callie, what's up? Callie says Raquel Rodriguez should win the tag titles kind of alone. She's killing it right now. Only lose to Banks and Naomi because the lack of a good partner. Yeah, you know what? Aaliyah getting a lot of slander, Book.
You know
She's
what?
getting a lot of slander.
I'm gonna tell you, man. Aaliyah, she's a diamond in the rough, man. She really is. She's young. She's got a lot of years left in this business. She's talent. She's a looker too. I mean, she
for sure.
When she comes out the curtain, boom, it's all eyes on Aaliyah.
100%.
And what she's shown me in the ring as well, I've been impressed with her. I've been impressed with her to not go out there and screw it up. Okay, when she go out and perform in the ring, you can rest assured.
Right.
Talk to me, man, and let me know if I'm saying anything out of place here. When I watch somebody work, I look for the little bitty things. I look for if they're going to go out there and, put themselves in a position to screw up. And that's something when I watch Aaliyah, I don't see that. I don't see her going out there trying to do something that she's not capable of doing. And I always talk about that with my students. You don't do anything that you got to practice. You don't do anything that you got to think about. When you wake up in the morning, if you can't do it, you don't even think about it. It's one of those type of deals. And that's the way I see Aaliyah. She's done everything to pass the smell test with me, as well as having a partner like Raquel. Man, that's just icing on the cake, because like I say, Shawn Michaels in the beginning having that buffer, Diesel, man, that was huge. That gave Shawn a chance. I could see Aaliyah being Shawn Michaels, really working that character very, very well. If this thing's done right, man, you guys are gonna remember this group for a long time, just like Shawn Michaels and Diesel. You're gonna remember this group for a long time. Trust me. Mark my word on this. I could be wrong.
Hey, Book, I know sometimes we disagree, but this is not one of those at times. I've liked Aaliyah since the first time I saw her. It like you said, diamond in the rough. I like that characterization. Is she a polished performer? Does she do everything completely perfect? No room for improvement? Absolutely not. Can she get better? We all can. Do I think this is the right spot for her? I do. Was I surprised by them winning the tag team championships? I was. But at the same time, like you said, she's got intangibles too. She's got intangibles.
Yeah.
And you're right. She has a quality about her that when she comes to the curtain, hey, I'm looking at Aaliyah.
You want to see her win.
I want to see her win. Yeah. I'm rooting for her. 100%.
Hey,
and
man.
that cannot go unsaid. You can be the greatest wrestler in the history of the business, but if you come through the curtain and people don't care, you'll never get anywhere, right? You'll never get anywhere. If you're a baby face and you walk through the curtain and people do not want to see you win, you are not very good at your job, even if you can do every technical aspect of this industry. There's got to be that it factor.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think she and Raquel have it. Raquel has an it factor about her.
I said Raquel had it, I don't know, maybe a month or so back, and I was talking about her and I was like, man, she has it. I thought she should, change a couple of things because when she came to the main roster, her attitude was a little bit different than it was in NXT. You know what I mean? And and I could see it. I could see it almost like, maybe she was forcing it, but maybe it's beginning to grow on her a little bit, and it seems maybe a little bit more natural now. Maybe putting the titles on them, make her a little bit more approachable. So we'll see. We'll see how this thing work out. But I always thought that she was talented, and she fits perfectly in the mix.
Yeah, don't think about it. Absolute talent. People still want to talk about these tag team titles. FBGM Low still says Dakota Kai was not legal. It's a work. Yeah, I did see that too. Dakota Kai wasn't the legal person at the time. I don't know if that was a mustache or
it might have been a mistake. It might have been a mistake. You know what I mean? Sometimes the fans don't. The referee sometimes, man, he don't know what the hell's going on either. So it could have been a mishap.
Don't bury the ref.
I'm just saying.
Don't bury the ref.
9 times out of 10, the referee don't know what the hell's going on in wrestling.
I don't know who was working the main event not this past Monday, but the Monday before.
I can tell you this. He didn't see nothing.
But I'm trying to think of who it was because Charles Robinson took a hell of a bump the other day.
Oh my
And I'm
God.
trying to think of
hate
who it was. I'll have to look it up. He took a hell of a bump the other day. Hell of a bump. We have another one here.
I wish it was Charles Robinson taking the bump.
He did.
Oh, great. Oh, great. I hope it was a good one.
You still hold this whole Kurt Angle thing.
Yeah, he
You know what
screwed,
I mean?
he screwed one of my greatest matches up that I could have ever had. Yeah, he did that. I can't elaborate that far on that. Yeah, but go ahead. What we got?
You're still hot about it too.
Yeah,
You're hot about it.
you know what? I am a little hot about it.
I can tell.
You know, sometimes you only have one time. You only have one time to create greatness. You know, one chance. Sometimes, and that was the one chance.
Are you saying that you would have one opportunity? Would you capture it or would you let it slip?
Yeah,
It sounded like you're about to go into to Eminem right there for a minute.
No,
You're about to lose yourself here.
Go ahead. I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm perfectly fine. You look at me in my eyes, man. I'm perfectly fine. Go ahead.
We have Cam J. Book. I can't even read it. Book, when you said signed by Governor Hot Wheels himself, I fell out. Woo! You can't help being that funny man.
Hey,
oh
man.
my goodness!
Come on, man. You just playing, man.
It's jokes. It wasn't you. That wasn't Booker T. That was Booker.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man. Reality
Mr.
wrestling.
Huffman.
Reality wrestling is off the chain, man. Watch reality wrestling, guys. And let me get a plug out there. If anybody want reality wrestling in their area, go to realitywrestling.com. Drop us a line, man. We want to bring reality wrestling on the road. We're getting ready to take this thing on the road, man. We're having a great time right now, creating some of the awesome stories we can here. So, guys, jump on board now, man. Become a part of the road. Seriously. Go to realityofwrestling.com. Do it. Do it now. I do it for you.
Do it to it. Here is our next one coming from Ezekiel Miller, and we were just talking about this. What did you think of Kurt and your feud? Kurt Angle, that is.
Oh man, Kurt Angle, he beats himself up because of that angle. Because it had sex involved, him stalking, but Kurt Angle never touched Sharmell once. Never, not once. We was never in a position to where, anything could have remotely happened. And Sharmell's an actress. She's an actor. You know what I mean? And some of the stuff I hear her, sometimes I walk in and she's, sitting on the sofa crying. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh, I'm practicing for a role.
I think Book froze. Sharmell is an accomplished actress, though. I mean, we've seen her. I actually got to read with her one time. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this. Well, I won't say what movie it was for, but it's for like a huge movie. And she did a great job. I'm gonna have to kick Book out here for a moment. And Book, just join back in if you can hear me. He'll join us in here in just a moment. So while we do that, let's talk about whatever it is that we were talking about. We're talking about, of course, he and Kurt Angle's feud. Now, Booker and I were in Los Angeles, California. It must have been 2017. There he is. And there you go, Book. I was talking about, I was about to go into the story of when we were doing that live show in LA and Kurt was there. We talked about the whole thing. I don't know if Booker can hear me.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Oh, you can. We were talking about the whole thing with you.
I can hear you fine.
We were talking about the whole thing with you and Kurt. And Kurt said a word that I'd never heard before. And maybe you can illuminate and enlighten the audience at home. Spalatal.
Yeah. That was a move that's an Olympic move. And Kurt had showed me how to do it. And if you watch the the match with Kurt and I and Charles Robinson make the 3 count. That's what the Splater was. It wasn't supposed to be the 3 count. And Charles Robinson definitely dropped the ball on that call right there. There again, we won't ever be able to go back and recreate history or anything like that. But man, I give Kurt Angle so much props for that angle, man. We had such a real intense deal going on, as well as I just could not wait to get to the payoff, and then to finally get to the payoff and could feel the match and as far as where it was going and how it was going to all play out at the end of the night, man. I felt something magic. I felt something special in that match. And I always wanted to get in the ring with Kurt Angle and match wits with Kurt, man to man, one-on-one, fisticuffs. And that night, man, I was doing it, man. I was doing it. And it just, and I won the match that night. But it was just definitely anticlimactic, to say the least. And we'll never get a chance to do it again.
Hey, well, you know what, Book? We got to take a quick break. We got more for the Hall of Fame. Why don't you send them on?
Hey, guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. What was that, man? Oh, man. Must be getting ready for that Labor Day weekend, man. We got some big boxing going down this weekend. So you guys definitely want to get tuned in, man, because it's going to be a big one going down. Andy the Destroyer Ruiz Jr. headlines an epic nights of fight. The former champ squares off against Luis King Kong Ortiz in a highly anticipated all-out heavyweight brawl, as well as Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Eduardo Romero. Returning to the ring, guys, superstar Abner Mares versus Miguel Flores, and it all goes down Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, live from the Crypto.com arena in Los Angeles, California. Live only on pay-per-view. It's going down, man. I can't wait, man. Can't wait. I'm always down for the heavyweights. Because man, when the heavyweights come to town, somebody gonna get knocked out. I'm gonna leave that middle part out.
Yeah, that's probably best. Well, but we'll just leave this up here for a second because Lord Frieza wants to know, Booker, Andy or King Kong Ortiz, does Ortiz's age come into effect, and can we finally see Ruiz versus Wilder or Wilder versus Joshua? Glad we finally have rain.
You know what, man? I was talking to one of the guys over at Fox. He had got my prediction. He said, "Who you got, man? Who you got?" And I said, "Man, I like Ortiz, man. I like Ortiz, but you know what? I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go with Andy Ruiz Jr. I think I was going with my heart earlier. When you think about it, Andy Ruiz Jr. Man, the dude he's a special type of fighter. He doesn't look like the prototypical fighter. Okay, as far as tall, range, long. You know what I mean? Not at all. But this guy, man, he got fast hands. He's a well educated pugilist, and I think he fights at a very, very high level. Guy can beat anybody on any given Sunday. That's the way I see Andy Ruiz Jr. King Kong Ortiz, he's going to be coming in. He's going to be looking for that shot. And there again, I think age is going to come into play in this fight, as well as if you notice, King Kong Ortiz, all of his last 3 fights, you could tell he's getting slower and slower and slower. Father Time waits for no man, and I think it's catching up with.
Well, look, I mean, I remember we saw him and Deontay Wilder go at it at the MGM Grand, and he got knocked out on his forehead, right? Like right.
Yeah, that was man. That thing was so hard too, man. Good God, that shot. You could hear it like all over the arena. It was that loud, man. Wow. Yeah. So King Kong Ortiz, he ain't no pushover or anything like that. He's gonna come to fight, and if he gets you in position and catch you with a good shot, he could take you out. But I do think. I think time is just sneaking up on him day by day. I think that's going to be the problem.
Okay, well, we'll see it going down this weekend again. Andy Ruiz Jr. Versus Luis King Kong Ortiz live on pay-per-view. Heavyweights, baby.
PBC, man, pay-per-view. I got to destroy you. It's gonna be, it's gonna be lights out, man. You know what? I got the weekend off.
You do? Well, we have Clash at the Castle coming up. You're not going overseas?
No, no one called me yet. I haven't gotten a ticket. Maybe they're gonna be doing it by remote. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Clash at the Castles this weekend, as well as AEW All Out. We'll probably be getting into that on our next episode of the Hall of Fame. Maybe there might be some time here. But you're talking about heavyweight boxing. I just want to say this one thing. I had a friend I was talking to today, and he had never seen we were talking about Mike Tyson, and I'm like, hey, we're talking about how great he is, powerful Mike Tyson, one of the greatest of all time, but he had never seen. I said, I told him, I said, hey man, have you ever seen the thing where Mike was interviewed on television? And this, guys, is something Booker showed me. I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago, maybe. I don't know how long it's been. We were at Winkler, and I remember Booker's like, hey man, have you ever seen the Mike Tyson in Toronto thing? And I'm like, no. And I showed it to him. And for anybody out there who's never seen this, it's the quickest flip of the switch, maybe in interview history, where Mike Tyson starts blowing this guy from Toronto up, like all in his grill.
And it was, you know what?
And guess what?
It was warranted.
Guy had it coming.
It was warranted.
Yeah,
it was warranted.
So if anybody doesn't see, just go to Google, go to YouTube and type in Mike Tyson Toronto interview.
All you got to do, man. I love Toronto. The thing is, I love Toronto.
I know that's what you said.
You got some stupid people out there, man. You got some stupid people out there that want to, they want to become famous.
Well, he became famous.
There he is.
And the outshot of that is just so funny still to this day. Callie Toenail's back. I've been dying laughing, wondering just what the hell Sam, Jimmy, and Frank were doing in there. I don't want no one to lose their job, but a promise is a promise.
Look, man, the board is trying to, remove me from my own company. I mean, these guys, they've been a part of this business in this company ever since the beginning. I mean, Frank, he came in, relatively, relatively new, but Sam been here since day one. Sam was like my right-hand man. And for me to walk in and see Sam literally conspiring against me, man, how do you think that would make you feel? How do you think that would make you feel?
Not good.
So, like I say, things aren't so great right now, but things are at the same time. And havoc and mayhem is about to rain down on reality of wrestling.
Well, the heat made their debut. So we can go watch that on the latest episode of Reality of Wrestling. By the way, September the 10th at the Booker T World Gym Arena, it still bears your name, even though there was no power from you within the arena.
It's my building. That's
still your building. Still own the building.
Still own the building. And I can evict anyone if I wanted to at the same time. But we don't even want to talk about that. Yeah.
Well, don't show your cards here, Booker T. But going down, big match announced. Of course, we're gonna have Q taking on Edge Stone for the Reality Wrestling Championship. But even more so, sometimes there are matches that are compelling from a different perspective. Sometimes it's not about the championship, because between these two guys, it's a literal blood feud. And JP Harlow and Izzy James settled their differences in the first ever Reality of Wrestling casket match.
Yeah.
And you have to be there to see this on Saturday week. This is of course September the 10th. If you're anywhere in the area.
You know what? And if you're anywhere in the area, another match just got added to that card. It's going to be the Heat in a trios match against some team in Reality of Wrestling. How about
wait. What is the Heat? Who's the trio?
Matty Ice, Gaspar, and me.
Whoa, wait, hold on now. I thought you said the itch had been scratched. I thought you said you were done.
I'm back. I'm back again. It's going to be a trios match. I don't know. You know what? We'll find a team. We'll dredge some team up in Reality of Wrestling that want to get beat up. You know, it's a lot of new guys in Reality of Wrestling. And I'm going to tell you right now, Gaspar, Matty Icy Hot, and myself, we need a little conditioning work. You know what I mean? Because we finna clean house. So if you're anywhere in the surrounding area, 10,000 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway, you might want to show up and see the house just get cleaned out. How about that?
Wow, that is breaking news to me and everybody watching right now.
Everybody on the internet, pick it up. Plenty
on.
It's gonna be plenty of action going down.
Plenty of action. So get your tickets now. Casket match, trios match with the Heat. Do not miss out. Do not get shut out. Reality of Wrestling.
You got a new trios league going on.
AEW.
Yeah. We might be warming. We might be warming up.
The Heat is warming up. But you know, Book, we only got one more segment left.
How about that? All right. The Heat might be warming up to get in on some trios action.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know we got to take a break, man. I know we got to take a break.
We do.
Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
My name is Dan Miller, and I'm trained to be a professional wrestler here at Reality of Wrestling. Professional wrestling has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. Growing up, I would have the toys, I would have matches with stuffed animals, I had a little paper championship. I always had that voice in the back of my head saying, can you do this? Can you really be a pro wrestler? And one day that voice got so loud, I just had to know. So I did my research, and I found that Reality of Wrestling is the best training ground in the whole country. You could sit down and turn on the TV every night of the week to watch pro wrestling, and you'll see someone who got their start in this ring. Reality of Wrestling teaches you everything you need to know about the business, from putting together the ring to putting together a TV show. This is a place where you can come and work on your fundamentals, work on your body, work on your interview skills. This is a one-stop shop for everything pro wrestling. If you have that voice in the back of your head, now is the time to find out if you have what it takes here at Reality of Wrestling.
Can you dig it, sucker? Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. I know we got a few other things we want to talk about, but we got any more super chats?
We don't have any super chats right now, but if you want to get your last minute chats in, send them in right now before we leave for the day.
Oh, one thing I did hear about that I want to talk about for a second was injury. Someone I heard, Thunder Rosa. I
Yeah.
heard Thunder Rosa was down with an injury, back injury. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I know a little bit about back injuries, man. I had a back injury once, and I had to lie in bed for 2 months straight. Literally, I had to have. I don't know if guys know what an epidural is, but it's what women get, and to induce pain. I think when they're pregnant. So induced to pregnancy. I think that's what it's for.
Yeah, I
And I
think
had
it
to have,
helps with the pain. It's a shot in your spine, right?
yeah, I had to have two of those. Uh,
Woo!
uh, and uh, and I was so afraid, man, because I actually got a chance to see how big the needle was, and I was like, "Good God!" But to tell you how bad my pain was, just say, for instance, I could lay in the bed, I could just lie in the bed, and just I would try to exercise my right leg by raising my feet up, maybe 6 inches off the bed, 6 inches off the bed, just exercising it. And if I would put a sheet, just a regular sheet, over my foot, I could not lift it at all. That's how much pain I was in. For a month, I had to literally get out of bed and hold on to the wall, just to get to the kitchen. Then
Wow.
hold on to the stairs, hold on to the wall. And then that's how bad I wanted to walk. I thought my wrestling career was over. So I could sympathize with someone like Thunder Rosa and her having back injuries. I think Thunder says she's 40 now. So she's not like the youngest, girl on the roster or anything like that. So I hope one take in consideration what something like that could actually feel like and what one could actually be going through when dealing with something like that. And I'm just saying it from experience. So hopefully she'll get back on track real soon, because she was always good to us at Reality of Wrestling. She always showed up and she always did a hell of a job. Kevin Bernhardt loved him some Thunder Rosa. Let's get Thunder Rosa on the show. You know what I mean? So definitely, Thunder, let's get you back on track.
Yeah, Thunder's great. Always love working with Thunder. 36 years of age.
Okay.
But over the 35 mark, heading
Yeah,
to the 40 mark. So definitely you don't want to see something like this happen. What I didn't like is how people on the internet, of course, are like, "Oh, Thunder, she's faking the back injury. She's faking it because she doesn't want to drop the title. She's just faking the back injury." And I'm like, okay, yeah. If you don't know Thunder Rosa, this is a woman who she's gonna go out there, she's gonna do the job
Let me tell
or
you,
do her job.
that back injury will make you do some strange stuff, man, because I can tell you this story right here. I heard mine in Australia, and
Yeah.
I don't even know how I heard it. Okay, but I woke up like the following morning after we worked that one night, the initial night. We had like 3 more nights there, and then we were coming back straight to TV. And I woke up the following morning, and I could not get out of bed. I was like, "What's going on? This is weird. This is different. I had never felt anything like that before." And from that point on, I was my back was just out. They put me in tag matches to get through it for the rest of the tour, and I sucked it up, and I got through that tour, man. But I swear, man, I had to bite down real hard to get through it. And then on the way back, we had to stop through, I don't know, California, because we were on our way to Canada and for TV, and I just couldn't go anymore. I was literally laid out in baggage claim. And I remember one of the executives, and I was the champion at that time, and he said, "Look, if we could just get you to Canada, we'll get you to a doctor and and get everything checked out." And I say, "Man, you don't understand, man. My back is screwed up, And he said, "Let me go, figure it out." Came back. He goes, "Well, if we just get you," I said, "You don't understand, man. I'm done. I'm going home." I say, "I don't care if I have to fly myself home." And I told the trainer, I say, "Here's the title, okay? Give it to whoever you need to, but I'm going home." And I swear, they got me home, and I was in bed for 2 months straight because I was done, and I could not go to Canada. So I understand what Thunder Rosa is going through. When you can't go, when you're in that situation, you are willing to tell whoever it is, "Man, get the hell out of my face."
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, so speedy recovery. Again, the heat, the backstage heat rumors, fly like they do. And I don't know if it's just because like so many of them have been coming out of AEW recently. It's just everybody wants to just assume there's heat with everyone. Like I think some of it is just a creation of the internet, and some of it's probably some of it's true.
I think a lot of it is.
I mean, we know that the thing with Sammy and Eddie was true because they both talked about it, right? I mean, they both came out and gave their situation.
Well, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about that? You know what I mean? Guys talking about inside stuff, stories, like that, backstage beef, you know what I mean? Backstage riff, promos that should have been said this way, and certain things shouldn't be said. What do you say?
I mean, look, this is just my perspective. If we're working an angle, we're working a program, and I'm trying to put heat on this, right? I don't think I'm going to run every single word by you. Now, I mean, that's just me. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't worked a program like that. So I'm not maybe the foremost authority, but the thing is this, but just this is what I think is like, it's all as long as it's not done maliciously and it's all for the betterment of the match. I don't really think too many things should be off limits. Personally speaking, like when CM Punk and Undertaker had their feud, I know a lot of people were upset that they made allusions to Paul Bearer right after he passed away, and they made that a part of the angle. Some people said it wasn't in good taste. Some people said, oh, whatever. But to me, it was selling an angle. It was selling a match. Whether it was in good taste or not, that's up to the personal perspective. But I think it was on the table to do. Sammy said something about Eddie Kingston's weight that he didn't appreciate, and he ran up on him backstage. That's how the conversation goes. I guess the real question would be for you. Has somebody ever said something in a promo that you said, hey, bro, no, that crossed the line with me? Or is it okay to say whatever as long as we're selling the match? We're promoting people to see the match.
I might have would have taken a different approach, in that situation there. Again, I don't like talking about angles or anything like that, but they already have put it out there in the match. I think Eddie Kingston was to go over. Okay.
Right.
I would have handled it right there in the ring, and I would have taken the fat joke, me personally. But I would have went out there and I would have whooped his behind to the point to where the world just saw this fat, whatever you want to think I am, beat the crap out of you. And I think that would have served its purpose. I think one could have got over a whole lot, and then took my shirt off at the end of the match and flexed. Like in the UFC, what's his name in the UFC?
Derek Lewis?
No, the big white guy. He's retired now. I can't think of his name right now. But he had a big belly, big country. Roy Nelson.
Oh, Roy Nelson. Yeah.
Nelson in the heartbeat, he freaking pat on his stomach, but he go out there and whoop those guys like it was no joke, knock them out, tap them out, beat them up. So I think it could have been handled a whole lot differently.
So you're saying promo is okay, but I know I'm going over in this program.
So I really got to go out here. I got to really go out here and beat you up now.
Yeah.
So
I
think that's what I would have. That's what I would have come from.
Has anybody ever run up on you backstage for something you said in a promo?
No, ain't nobody.
Have you ever seen that happen to anybody?
Not really, because it's like a shoot when you're in a pro. I could have used that.
Right.
You got to
make the angle better.
Yeah, man, you got to be able to use that kind of stuff to make the angle better, opposed to going and say, you can't say something like that. The people are going to go and start killing me on the internet. You kidding me? I'm serious, because I'm about trying to use whatever it is, man. So come on, man. I've been in a position, where people have said stuff about me, and I might just let it go over my head and act like I didn't know what the hell it meant. It's just like, it's just like Howard Cosell said, you look very truculent truculent tonight, champ. And Ali doesn't know what that is, but he said, if truculent, if it's good, I'm that. You know, so you got to be able to use whatever it is that's thrown your way to make yourself, you know, look a certain way. I could be wrong, but that's the way I would have done it.
That's a really good point. And to me, Eddie Kingston's appearance,
that ain't
right?
gonna change. That's not gonna change. So you got to be able to you got to be able to use it.
But I actually think that it adds to his character, right? Like he looks like this normal guy from New York who's going to go in there and beat the piss out of you. Like I think it's an attribute for him.
He's a guy that you can see in the subway.
Right.
You know what I mean? Catching the 6 or the L or whatever they call it. You know? I'm serious. But you got to be able to use that kind of stuff when it happens, opposed to going to the internet and letting the internet get behind, you know, what they're behind right now. You know, that's just me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but now guess what?
What?
There's no match. Like the match is off the show.
Just think about it though.
So like, who won here? Nobody.
Think about it, man. If they would have did it my way, everybody be over right now.
Yeah,
everybody be over.
Be a hot angle.
But everybody want to be WCW. We got to get out of here, man. The show's like Doug Johnson used to say, you know, on Miami Vice. Show's over, pal. We got to get up out of here. But I thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Getting your champagne wishes. Carry your dreams as well as you, Brad. Always, man. Appreciate you. We'll be back. But right now, peace. We out of here.